Assalamu alaikum, friends. Welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. Your host Sidra is here again with a brand new video. As I have already told my viewers that daily we will bring you a story of someone who accepted Islam with English dubbing. Whether the story was originally told in German, French, or any other language. So, today, continuing that series, I will be dubbing for you the story of another Persian lady who accepted Islam. So, let's move on to the original video. But before we move forward, I kindly request you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe it and don't forget to share our videos as much as possible so that the message of Islam can reach everywhere. Thank you.
Hola a todas, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidas otra vez a mi canal. Gracias por estar aquí, por estar constantemente dejándome mucho cariño en los comentarios. El día de hoy quiero contarles más acerca de mi vida, responder las preguntas que más me hacen acerca de mi religión, cómo me convertí, cómo fue la experiencia, cómo se dieron las cosas, por qué uso esto, me obligaron, lo hice porque quise, bueno, en fin. Son muchísimas preguntas que recibo todo el tiempo acerca de este tema.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for being here, for always leaving me so much love in the comments. Today I want to tell you more about my life and answer the questions I get asked the most about my religion. How I converted, what the experiences was like, how things happened,
Why I wear this hijab?
was I forced to do it, or if I chose it myself? And many more questions like that. Basically, all the questions I constantly get about this topic, and honestly, the best way is to just tell you my whole process from the beginning. So basically, beginning of conversion started when I met my husband at a gym here in Barranquilla. At that time, he had already been living in Colombia for almost 4 years. Back then, I didn't follow any religion. I was never really religious, even though I studied in a Catholic school run by nuns. But I wasn't practicing any religion and had never really done so in my life. I think that actually made it easier for me when I decided to convert because I didn't have any old beliefs stuck in my head. I didn't have to struggle against my previous ideas, so it was super simple for me. Anyways, I met my husband at the gym. That day he come up to me and asked if he could have my number to talk with me. I gave it to him because I thought he was really nice. We started talking on WhatsApp that same night, mostly about gym stuff. I remember the first photos we ever shared were just pictures of the supplements we each had at home. Proteins, amino acids, that kind of things. That's how our relationship started. Just training together and getting to know each other. Something funny I still remember. The very second day, Alito messaged me and said he wanted to keep talking with me and stay in touch, but that he needed to make something very clear. He couldn't be my boyfriend, and he also couldn't marry me. I was like, what? What's wrong with this guy? Why is he telling me that when he had literally just started talking? I wasn't even thinking about that. But he explained that I was very pretty and he wanted to keep talking with me, but he would never be able to marry me because he had to marry someone from his religion, from his country, from his culture. That's what his family expected and what he wanted to. He said, don't worry, we can be friends for a long time and see what happens later. So that's how things started between us. From the beginning, he had told me that, so I knew I couldn't get too involved or fall in love. At that time, honestly, I didn't care. I wasn't even thinking about that. We were just living in the moment. But as months passed, I naturally started to like him more. When you like someone, you want to know everything about them, right? That's how it was for me. I got curious about his culture, his customs. For those who don't know, my husband is Lebanese. He was born in Lebanon and he is Muslim. For me, as a Colombian, all of this was new. The culture, the way he spoke, a different language, the food he liked, his behavior, and everything, plus his religion, Islam. And I want to clear something up here because a lot of people always ask, how can you be Muslim and speak Spanish? How can you be Muslim and Colombian? But culture and religion are two different things. Culture is tied to your country, your family traditions, the food, the language you speak, the way you grew up. Religion is something else entirely. So in my marriage, there are two cultures. Mine, which is Colombian and Latin, with Spanish as my language, and his, which is Arab. But our religion is the same. The religion doesn't depend on your nationality. You can be Colombian and be Catholic, Muslim, Christian, Adventist, whatever. You can also be Arab and be Catholic. Not all Arabs are Muslims, that's a misconception. So I come back to the story. I started getting really interested in his culture and religion. I researched everything, his Arab traditions, the practices of Islam. Little by little, I fell in love, not just with him but also with Islam. What really drew me in was the way he lived, how he respected family, how he respected God, how much he valued his mother. All those values stood out to me. It made me want to know more, and I began to love not only him but also his faith and lifestyle. After a few months, his family already knew about me, that there was a Colombian girl he was interested in. They came to meet me. By then, I was learning more and more about Islam, and I already wanted to convert. Actually, we got married pretty quickly. We were dating for about 10 months, but in Islam, there's no such thing as dating like we have in Colombia, where you can be with someone for years and then break up. In Islam, if a man approaches a woman, it's with the intention of marriage. You can get to know each other, but there are rules. There is no physical relation allowed in Islam without any wedlock. So we talked for about 10 months, which is a lot in Islam, but understandable in our case because we were from different cultures. By then, I had already converted to Islam on my own. It wasn't required to marry him. There are plenty of interfaith marriages, but I wanted to be Muslim. Islam had captured my heart. For the first time in my life, I felt spiritual, grateful to God, and fulfilled. A month later, we got married. When we got married, I didn't wear hijab. It wasn't required, and no one pressurized me. His family never ever mentioned it. Actually, that made me more curious. I started asking him, do I need to wear it? And he would always say, no, it's totally your decision. If you want to wear it someday, you will, but it has to come from you. I think that freedom was the key. He and his family never forced me. Actually, faith is in your heart, and it shows in your actions. I am far from being the best Muslim. I still have so much to learn. The hijab doesn't make me superior or inferior to anyone. After about a year of being married, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I said I want to wear hijab. I started following Muslim women on Instagram for inspiration and told my sister-in-law to send me some scarves. The day I decided to do it, I told my husband. At first he was worried, not because he was against it, but because he wanted to make sure I wasn't rushing into it or feeling pressured. But once I told him it was truly what I wanted, he supported me 100%. Even I didn't wait for it a single day, and that same night I put it on when I received it. And I want to stress this. It was my own choice. It wasn't required for marriage or even for conversion. Yes, there may be cases where women are forced, but that's not Islam. That's people. In my case, it was 100% my decision from my heart when I felt ready. For me, the hijab is something beautiful. I like how I look in it. It makes me happy. I also find it romantic because it means my husband has access to parts of me that nobody else does. He sees me in a way others can't, and that feels special and intimate. My family can also see me without it, and that feels beautiful too. It's something reserved for them. For me, it's about modesty, respect, and giving something to God. So, yeah, that's my story. How I met my husband, how I converted, how I decided to wear hijab. I know there are still many questions, but I don't want this video to be too long. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments and maybe I will do a part 2. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe my channel and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. Sending you a big hug. Bye.